What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Post Credits Podcast, a show where we are lucky enough to talk about movies with you. This is episode 55. 5 and 5. That's how that works.
The old double nickel.
Recorded on
Sir.
Sunday. Recorded on Sunday, November 9th, 2025, to get posted to podcast services on Tuesday, November 11th. 2025 to the usual spots: Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, Amazon Music, Podbean, and then YouTube. If you're listening to us on an audio-only version, feel free to come on over to YouTube. Check us out there as well. You can catch full episodes or just segments. It's time-coded. More of my friends have asked me to just clip out the segments and post them. Guys, just click on the time code. It'll take you right to it. I don't know how much more simple we can make that. It's just you click and it'll take you right there. We try to send out some. I'm sorry.
We can make it more simple if we clip out the pieces of the episode like they're asking.
It's not more
We
simple
could.
for me.
True. Well, I mean,
have
I
to
say
more
do
work.
it because it doesn't shut me at all. But okay,
Okay, great. Thanks.
we tried to
remember
send
that
out
when
some.
I start clipping out other things this week.
There you go. Don't forget to like and subscribe. However you choose.
11 shorts.
Nice.
However you choose to enjoy our content. Thank you. It was pointed out that I did not post the movie battle bracket number 3 on the audio feed. I'll do that. I really appreciate that we have, I have people contacting me and telling me what never post. That shows, I'm glad that you people are listening and you want to hear it. So all 3 of those are available on YouTube.
They're all there.
They're all there on YouTube. Only 2 of them are on the audio feed. That's just my mistake. I thought we were only doing the YouTube, but apparently I posted the other 2. I will post that this week, so they'll all be there as well.
You let in with that all 3. I thought you were going to say all 3 of our followers. Thank you, because implying we only have 3. So.
That's right.
Fair
All
enough.
3 of you. That's fine. That's fine. All right. Let's get into the episode. Let's do some introductions. I am one of your hosts, Grayson Maxwell, joining me as they do and as they have the best beards in the business, co-hosts Roger Stillion and Chris Bond.
Yo.
Gentlemen, how are we?
Doing great.
Good.
I like the salute and I like the thumbs up. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Chris has a weird thumb.
I do. I have 2 weird thumbs, actually, sir.
Put it next to the camera. Let us see your thumb.
You're going to see it later.
I'm not your show.
Oh, there
queen.
you go. There you
I'm not your
go.
show
Like a
queen. Quit that.
question mark. That's not natural. Unnatural. It's not right.
Chris's unnatural thumb. What's going on? Chris, I heard you guys talking about your little Olympian. She's doing very well in her swimming.
Swim meet today. She did good. She improved on everything. Super proud of her. The little one was also well behaved, which is like her own little Olympics. So that's she did good too. So
You have to
appreciate
take
that.
Small victories.
Yeah,
while we
yeah,
get
yeah.
them.
I don't really have any show stuff to go over with you guys or movie stuff that I watch, but I do want to let you guys know I Frankenstein my own fancy ramen together for dinner last night. It was the best dinner I've had in 2 months. It was great. So that was good. Got the
What did you do? Tell us what was the Frankensteining consist
got
of?
got the carbonara flavor of ramen, the fancy ramen, super
Okay.
spicy and super creamy. Got some pork tenderloin, chopped that up, put in it, put some pork belly in it too. Add in what else you like, and it was so good. It was delicious. So yeah,
Wait, sounds good.
it was.
Sounds
good.
like I would at least merit. Can I have a bite of that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, man, sounds good.
Good stuff.
I thought you were going to talk about Frankenstein on Netflix, and I got excited because I've not seen that, but I hear good things. I hear mixed-ish things, but I'm really excited because that's Guillermo, right? That's Del Toro.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think when he releases something, I think it needs to be at least on someone's radar. So
Yeah.
I will be checking that out this week. I watched a lot of stuff. I went down another because I watched. Later I'll do a few minutes on Nuremberg, and I forgot to put that into the show notes. But I really enjoyed it. However, that led me down another. I have this odd. I know, Chris, you and I have talked about it before. We have this odd fascination with World War II, and I love my documentaries on World War II on Netflix. It's the one thing they do really well is their docuseries. But I watched a lot of stuff on that, and I got kind of stuck down that rabbit hole for probably 10 or 15 hours.
Nice.
Jeez. I wish
that-
I had 15 hours just to.
Yeah, right.
get
That
out.
had Russell Crowe in it, right?
John
Nuremberg.
Goodman. Yeah.
Oh, John Goodman. Okay. Same person in some movies.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Show lore. It's not actual John Goodman, but but it's
inside joke.
an inside joke.
Yeah.
But I thought it was. I loved his performance. I will say that.
Got it. He's just on an episode of Joe Rogan, and it was really interesting to hear him talk about it. So that's cool.
Good.
Very important event in history too. So we'll go over that. Also, of the 2 movies this week, that one was by far the funniest. By far. I was in a sold out theater twice for that.
So weird.
Yeah,
to
right.
say.
It's weird, but it's just well timed comedy, and I'll
Saw
talk
a
about that in a
great
bit.
comedy this week. Nuremberg.
Yeah. But
Probably
so
won't use that as a short.
Why?
I'm back in Los Angeles.
Yeah,
It's warm here. It's I went for a swim, and
it's good.
since I've been back several days. It's
gonna
been
snow
nice
here
to be
tomorrow.
back.
Yeah,
Is it
there's
really?
ice warnings
Yes.
tonight.
Yes.
Well, according to the Farmer's Almanac, this year is supposed to be really bad snow year for the eastern U.S. So
yeah, whatever.
buckle in, guys. It hasn't really been. The past few years have really been. I mean, past 10 or 15 years have really been kind of tame, right?
Yep.
Not really bad at all.
But also don't worry about that because guess what? If it snows, it just snows.
No sort of like cicadas. They come and go with the years.
I love the snow. I'm gonna miss the snow, but I shall be
love the
back
snow,
around the
but I also
holidays.
don't
I
worry
think.
about it. So
I love it.
snows here, it snows. It's just part of
What's
life.
your favorite movie with snow in it? No, okay, never mind. That's a weird
Vertical
question to
Limit
ask.
with Chris O'Donnell.
There you go. I was just
Where did you
thinking
just
that.
rip that?
Remember that movie? Yeah,
Yeah, there you go.
that
Jeez.
movie's kind of rad.
Yeah,
Also,
it is rad.
a terrible movie.
Oh, I also
probably
watched Fat
Violent
Man.
Heat.
I also watched Fat Man this week, which has tons of snow in it too, with
What the
Mel
Mel
Gibson.
Gibson Santa
Yeah.
Claus one?
It's funny that you went that and I went Violent Night instantly. That was
Yeah.
cool.
Well, I mean, those are two really interesting takes on Santa Claus. I'm sure less accurate than the world
takes.
thinks, but
I don't know about interesting. They're violent.
I don't know.
though.
There's some versions of Santa Claus that are pretty not friendly. So
yeah, that's true. That's very true. But
Who's your guys' favorite? Actually, no. I'll save that for a different episode down the road. That's
Con
actually a
Air.
good question.
The answer is Con Air. Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
So perfect. I don't know what you're gonna ask, but it's always Con Air. Anyway, so let's
on air Christmas.
let's start a show, gentlemen. We're trying to move this one along just because we have a lot to talk about this week with the Predator film. Let's get into it. Let's
Do it.
start off with the box office. And number one, as surprise to no one, Predator Badlands, 40 million domestic with 80 million worldwide. By itself, destroys all of October's box office by itself.
October's box office by itself in
Makes
one
me
opening
super happy.
weekend.
Makes me super, super happy. We're going to talk about
Crazy.
that one in a little bit. Number two, Regretting You, 7.1 million for a worldwide of 70 million. I don't think
not bad for that actually.
The budget couldn't have been. I don't think the budget could have been too high for that one, right?
Handful of nickels.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about another one down the list here in a minute, but Black Phone 2, another 5.3 million for a very respectable worldwide of 120. So it's doing all right for itself. Sarah's Oil, 4.5 million for 4.5 million worldwide. Is only domestic. Nuremberg.
What is that movie? I saw it. I saw the poster for it.
I will tell you, it is the remarkable true story of an 11-year-old Sarah Rector, an African-American girl born in Oklahoman Indian Territory in the early 1900s, who believes there is an oil beneath the barren land she's allotted and whose faith is proven right.
Ooh.
I know.
Oh,
Ooh, indeed.
The budget for Regretting You is reported to be 30 million.
Oh, wow. That's actually pretty high. Higher than I thought it was going to be.
It's in the black, even after marketing then.
Definitely.
Most likely.
Okay, so 6 or 10 real quick. Chris Chainsaw Man, the movie Res Arc, the movie that cost all of 15 cents to make, has made $158 million.
Congrats
Very,
to
very
them.
good. Yeah.
Make your money.
Begonia, I just want to take a look at this. Only made 23 million worldwide.
That's
That's all you deserve. That's all I want to say. But I don't say it. I just shake my fist.
Yeah. You're on record. We got it.
Number 8, Die My Love. Number 9, Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere, 34 million. Barely doing better than Begonia, but it is. Tron Ares, Why Do You Suck? 137 million worldwide.
Probably Jared Leto.
Well,
I disagree with that take, but I get
yeah,
you.
I disagree, but there's a lot of problems with Tron. But there's your box office. No huge surprises there. Next week we're gonna look into probably see another Predator on top two or three, but we will get to that next week. However, let's move forward. Let's do a movie recommendation. Of course, we're talking about Predator Badlands this week.
We are.
Chris is going to do an interesting segment later on hype that I'm really interested to hear about because he's done some research on that. But first, I'm going to recommend my personal favorite in the Predator universe, which I know not everyone will agree with, but it goes back to the OG 1987
AVP.
Predator. Yes, AVP. That's the king of
AVP 2.
Requiem. Yes. Let's talk about Predator.
Right? That's what the tag. Yeah.
Yeah. How dare you bring that into how dare you mention that movie?
Listen, it's Mortal Kombat quality. You know what I mean?
It is. You got to admit it is.
It's
Let's talk about
actually-
it in 1 second.
So you're saying it's Ghost Ship?
It's an annihilation quality.
Oh man.
Predator, the original, 1987, directed by John McTiernan, which he did a lot of movies in that time, and he brings kind of a very special touch to those. But of course, it has Arnold Schwarzenegger, the legendary Colonel Weathers, Bill Duke. It has a number of people. Shane Black was in it. Kevin Peter Hall. It started it, and it's kind of on the back tail of the Alien franchise that they later came in together. But this is just a team of commandos that's hunted by a predator. It's actually, I've always respected this movie because of what the predator does, what the movie does actually. I think it's actually kind of a masterclass in how to create that kind of suspense, which is you take like a U.S. Special Forces team and you have them hunted by another creature that is obviously bigger, faster, stronger, very much more adept to fighting them, and they have to learn how to fight back. But let me ask you guys a question. Chris and Roger, do you think this movie would have survived without Schwarzenegger as the lead? Let's say, for instance, it was Dolph Lundgren, another big one back in the 80s. If it was Dolph, would this movie have survived as well as it has through time?
If you would have said Stallone,
Stallone is who I was thinking.
I would
Stallone?
say yes.
Yeah.
Lundgren, probably not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who else?
I think Stallone makes it. I don't know if they're old enough or if they're too young at the time, but there's a couple other ones.
I mean, Chuck Norris probably could have done it, but Chuck Norris did a bunch of
he
like
did.
the Vietnam era kind of
Yeah.
thing. So there's a lot of jungle work for him in that. So
yeah.
it might have been too similar of a project.
Who's the bald guy that's in Armageddon? Can't remember his name.
Bruce Willis?
Yeah, him. What
But
about
Bruce?
I don't think he was big enough to do that at the time.
That's
No,
what I mean. Like he may have been too young, but like I think
Yeah.
he could have done it if he was like coming up at the time too.
I mean,
I like to think that Stallone's would have been. Yeah, we're just we're in the desert fighting the creature here, predator. That's my Stallone.
that's
That
great.
was
Thank you.
There's a clip.
I
You're
want you to
you're
know
welcome.
that you just ground the show to a halt.
Thank you. Okay, appreciate it. Back to Predator. What was your guys' first experience with this movie? I'm very curious.
I didn't see it till the 90s. I know that.
Okay.
I was a little young for when it came out.
Well, I was just looking for an answer. Like, were you young, or were you a
I was younger.
teenager, or
Listen, I'm the oldest person here, and I was 5 when it came out. So let's not.
Yeah.
that's true, I guess.
Really-
But you can still, when you're a kid, you could still see it on like VHS or something.
Well, no, my dad definitely was a fan of Predator.
Yeah.
And Predator 2
Mm.
definitely had. I know we had Predator 2 on VHS.
Okay.
I know we had it.
Yeah, baby.
I'm the oldest of my generation, like of the kids of my family and stuff,
Mhm.
and so like I kind of like led the charge on anything to watch in that sense, and I just wasn't old enough for Predator. So the first time we all saw it, my uncle turned it on, popped in the Predator VHS.
Kids
And
gather around.
It creeped the hell out of us, man.
Sure.
Like some of the kills in that, I remember them being like they creeped me out as a kid,
Sure.
but because of that, I never went back to it until I was an adult, and then I was like, "Oh, this movie's rad." So it's just a little different experience. Depends on when you see it, formative years and such. But Predator, in the end, I think like that one works so well to me because of the mystique of the Predator. I think that's a piece of what made it such a cult classic. I don't know if a cult classic is the right word, but it's how it gains
It
the
is.
following.
It is. It's a
Cult
cult
classic,
classic. Yeah.
right?
Think so?
Yeah,
Okay,
sure,
well, like
for sure.
I think the mystique is what kind of allows that to happen, because when you don't have all the answers and you got to fill in blanks and stuff, like you don't see his face till the end, right? The very end, and it's like that's like such a big reveal moment, and yet it reveals nothing about him besides the fact that he has a messed up looking face. So I think Predator 1 has that going for it. There's that mystique to the
Well,
Predator himself.
The other thing too is the sci-fi tech side
Yeah.
of
Mhm.
Predator for the time
Oh,
is very advanced.
Yeah, the cloaking
And,
was done
yeah,
so
the
well
cloak,
for
the
being an '80s movie.
the thermal vision, which is
Yeah.
something you didn't see a lot of, the laser
Yeah.
from the shoulder mounted cannon, and
Yeah.
like that they put a lot of work into that,
Mhm.
and it really does help. I mean, it's thankfully they did that then for us to be able to take it and to really see what it could become now.
Mhm.
So I think that's very cool. One question I want to ask about Predator, if you have seen it fairly recently, why in a stealth mission to the jungle does Jesse Ventura bring out a full-on minigun that has to weigh at least 150 pounds?
Because you don't know what you're gonna need.
You need
when
a guy
things
with a
go
minigun.
bad.
You need a guy with a minigun who
Buddy,
can just.
this is a stealth mission.
Hey, stealth is subjective when you're in the Congo or wherever they were. You know what I mean?
But that was hold on. I mean, the answer to your question is because that was in the time when big guns on screen sold with like the Chuck Norris
I mean,
like
I
big
know
guns,
why.
big dudes, big arms. That's all
But
you
it's
need.
like,
baby.
come on, dude. What are we doing here?
Well, it's going back to it real quick is why I think it's the king of the franchise, is because it manages to do so much with so little, and there's a lot of when they know something's out there and like you see them looking and then you see the camera panning. It's like there's so much of that where they're like, okay, director's like, okay, no one move, shoot the jungle, go. It's like because you're looking for it too, and
Looking for it.
yeah, and then like the film goes on, then you see it, something will move and they'll put an effect in the frame, and then you'll see
The
like
shimmer.
the cannon come, like it just they do so much with so little, and to make it so compelling is great. And of course, as a bonus, you have that's where the run, get to the chopper. That's what the Arnold. That's that famous. Thank you guys for just staring at me blankly. I appreciate that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
What do you want me to do?
Laugh or say, yeah, that's where that comes from. Or thank you very much, guys. Appreciate that.
Oh, hey, no, I know where that's from.
There you go.
Nice.
Predator 1987, I think still the king. I actually expected a little pushback from saying it's the king from you guys. I didn't. I don't know why, but I expected you guys
So
to.
here's the thing. It's pretty good. Like the only other one that I think is close to that is Prey. And I'm not gonna advocate for Prey saying it's a better Predator movie. Prey in its own little world or its own thing is very good. And if I know a lot of people for whatever reason didn't see Prey just because it was only on Hulu.
True.
You guys should watch Prey. It is
good.
free if you have Hulu. Check it out. It's an excellent Predator movie. It's very well done and it works very, very well. And guess what? It's cool.
Yeah.
Like it's
I would
very
actually
cool.
go far to. I would go so far to say it's probably one of the better Hulu exclusive movies that you
Oh,
can
for sure.
watch. I mean,
For sure.
it's not Palm Springs. Very, very, very little is. However, I think if you're making a list,
it's not Oscar nominated Palm Springs.
Sure.
Let's get that right.
Sure. But if you're making a list of, let's say, the 10 best Hulu exclusive movies, I think Prey has a fighting chance of being on that list. I really do.
I say probably pretty high up that list too.
Yeah, I would agree with
We should
that.
do that sometime.
There's some good stuff on Hulu. Like
I have to go through the actual list of like Hulu originals.
Hulu's got things. Doesn't it have the holdovers? Where was that at?
No, that was theatrical, but
Okay,
it was theatrical, but yeah, that's
gotcha.
I mean, when you're making a list, you should stick to like exclusive to that platform.
Yeah.
I know what he's saying. But
Hulu has Suncoast, and I thought that was a really good
Suncoast
movie.
is a great movie.
That was Woody Harrelson. Well, that was what, Nico Parker and Woody Harrelson. Yeah.
About the brother dying in hospice or whatever.
Really good movie.
Yeah, excellent movie. Sad as shit. Excellent movie.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We had to bring some tissues. Like it's gonna be sad. It's gonna be sad, and it's gonna be worth it. Like Suncoast is good.
Yeah.
Far less tears in Prey. Just saying.
Yeah.
So a lot more death, though.
Weird. Weirdly.
So let's talk about the Predator universe, and I want to start off by going back a little bit and talking about Grayson's first viewing of Predator 2, which is after Alien and Aliens. After Alien and Aliens, my dad introduced me to James Cameron very early. He's a huge James Cameron fan, even a long time ago. So he introduced me, and Terminator and all that stuff. So we bonded on that and Aliens. And anyway, so I remember one of the first. This is a first for me. Is I remember seeing Predator 2 in the end. You see the alien skull on the, because I loved Alien and Aliens. I was super young when I was probably 10, 11, 12 when I saw Predator 2 for the first time. And I couldn't believe what I just seen. I was like, how do they do that? I didn't understand anything about like
how is that
contracts and like how that works. And like, I didn't realize they were both Fox, and I just didn't realize it. But that was, to me, that was super, super cool. Yeah. And I've not forgotten it. That like the first time I made that link that you can do that, like intershared universes. So but I mean, then they went, and then years and years later when we got AVP, I was a little disappointed because I wasn't quite sure of how bad that movie was actually going to be when it was terrible. It was god-awful.
In its defense, the reason to make that, it came out in a weird time for movies anyway. Like what was that? 2000?
Yeah, it was early.
No, AVP was December of 2004.
Was it that late?
Yeah.
I mean, early 2000s sequel garbage. I mean, that's not an uncommon thing to happen.
Yeah.
You
No,
know?
but also you have up to that point, all the Predator films were R, all the Alien films were R. You mesh them together, suddenly it's PG-13. It doesn't make any sense. However,
Was
I
Alien
understand
vs Predator PG-13?
it was.
Yeah.
It definitely was.
Okay.
But for someone like me, it's a guilty pleasure. And in the same way that, and I think you guys know where I'm going with this, is like I can understand why someone can watch Freddy versus Jason, and like that's an awful movie too. But I can
Sure.
understand someone loving it because it's a love letter to the '80s. It's a love letter to those killers and the mythos behind those. It's just a fun movie. And that movie knew what it was. But AVP, I think they wanted to make this kind of a serious. I think they were trying to connect with the younger audience with what they even at the time they thought franchises that were like kind of dead, but not really dead, but like only the older audience cared about them, and they tried to make it relatable to younger people. And I wasn't quite sure why they did what they did with the marketing or why it was PG-13, but
Well, I think now you can probably answer those questions, right? AVP was targeting a younger audience.
Sure,
That's why it was
absolutely was.
PG-13,
Yeah.
and it's because of money, right? Like
Of
we
course.
know this now, and saying that in 2004 that this movie comes out AVP and it's PG-13, that's about when the whole like appeasing the stakeholders, like serving the stakeholders thing started to like really boom. Was the early 2000s.
Sure.
So it doesn't. It's
Yeah,
not
we own
surprising
some of
now.
your stock. This is something we want done.
Yeah,
Get it done.
exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like it's not surprising. Is it a good thing or a bad thing? I think in the end, that earlier stage, it was better for showing that like you could bring this stuff together and bring it to life on screen, which is why we get things like the Marvel Cinematic Universe
Sure.
and other things,
Sure.
which I think are a net positive for movies. A little overplayed now with like connecting universes and such all over the place, but I think I'm more interested in that kind of stuff anyway. So in the end, it's a net positive in my eyes. But I think that now the version that we get of bringing these franchises back and 30-year later sequels and stuff, it's so overhit that I'm sad of the state now. But back then that was really cool because it didn't happen very often.
Well,
So I remember being hyped.
yeah, you're right.
Well,
It-
one thing,
go ahead.
so one thing I want to bring up though, if you talk about Predator in that aspect, there are far less Predator movies than there are Aliens movies or Alien
True, yeah.
movies. Okay, it's like they tried really hard for a long time to like make Alien great.
Mhm.
Past Aliens and like the original set of, I guess you'd say
The trilogy, yeah.
the trilogy. I mean, because but there's technically four, but whatever. If you take the first three Aliens, okay,
Yeah.
and then most of the other Alien stuff after that is pretty bad.
There's 4 aliens, Alien 3, right?
Alien
That's like their own. That's like its own 3.
There's a
Alien
fourth
Requiem, or what's it called?
Yeah, there's a
Alien
fourth one.
with
Sigourney.
Winona Ryder and Sigourney Weaver. Winona Ryder is called.
There's a fourth one. I
Oh,
don't remember.
I may have never seen this.
That's Joss Whedon made it. Yeah,
Well,
with
you didn't miss anything.
Okay, good.
But then,
well, I mean, I
they
disagree with
tried
that.
really
but-
hard in the 2010 era to make Prometheus and
Mhm.
everything make it a big deal.
I'm a Prometheus defender.
Well, here's
I
the
always will be.
it's okay, but it wasn't the vibe, which I hate. God, I hate that word. But like the like that movie is fine.
Yeah.
It's not Aliens. It's barely, besides the titular character.
Yeah.
It's not Aliens.
True.
And without David, it may not have even been. I mean, if you take out the fact that David was the android, you could even remove it from the Alien universe altogether, except
Almost,
except for like some of the iconic visuals. Sure, but I mean, it's not. What was that? So
There's aliens
Well,
in Alien Prometheus. Am I wrong?
there are
Oh, yeah, I was
But-
gonna say.
like
no.
barely
Yeah, true. Yeah, but they're
Barely.
there.
because
No,
like,
no,
they
wait.
create-
In Prometheus, there's nothing resembling the xenomorph that we knew up to that point.
Well, they create the xenomorph. Remember?
Sure, but it wasn't visually.
It wasn't quite
Yeah.
the same.
Yeah.
It
No,
was some
he's
weird
right. He's right.
hybrid
I
thing.
get what he's saying.
But so like there are a couple of those movies, but then we get this past one was what, Romulus?
yes,
like, That's a pretty good movie. That was very much back into like scary haunted ship style Alien.
They got it right.
Yeah. And it's pretty good. And then by to have the whole Wayland universe thing to come in with this movie which we'll talk about here shortly with Predator Badlands, like I think they're on an upswing. Like they're
Okay.
doing pretty well right now.
Well, Alien Earth being what it is, I don't. It's
I'm
not
not worried
quite
about
the
that. I don't
upswing
care
they
about
would
that.
have. Well, we
Like,
do
there-
because this is a shared universe. Of course, we do.
Canonly, though.
Yes, we have to care about both, but that's the thing. So, and I was mistaken. It was August 2004. Before I know someone was screaming into their. It was August. I don't know why I said
Yeah.
December.
That's
Requiem was December, but it's. Oh, you guys know that off of a $60 million budget, Alien vs Predator made $178 million. For as bad as that movie was, it made a ton of money in August. By the way,
that
Yeah.
movie was cool. You know what
Well,
I mean? Like,
I remember watching it in a theater and it was packed.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't go to movies very often, and I saw that movie in theaters, so it's
Because the idea was like, hell yeah.
well, yeah, of course
yeah.
it was.
but then you have the sequel. So they made the sequel obviously because that one made so much money, and
Yeah.
of course in Requiem you put little Easter eggs for the fans, like such as like you put the tracker from Aliens, the sound, the high pitched pulse, which I think is great, and one of the characters was a young Dallas, which I think is the most unforgivable thing because so. Dallas is the captain of the ship in the Alien in Alien. He's the captain of the ship. So you're telling me that this little kid then grows up to captain a ship, but he knows nothing about anything up when he's up there later. It just that's as stupid as them putting Obi-Wan with a very young Leia in the Kenobi series on
Yeah.
Disney. It's unforgivable, but it made money, and people. The second one made 130 off of an $80 million budget, so made that one's not quite as profitable, but I think probably is some profit to be had off of both of them. But I mean, for me, it was quite disappointing because I didn't think we'd ever see Alien again. And one point you just made, Roger, I want to disagree with, and it's only because I love Alien so much that like I feel obligated to jump to the defense. I would argue they got Prometheus right in a lot of ways. Because you had to, I mean, if the idea was to explain the space jockey, where did he come from? Then yes, I understand the groundworking for Prometheus. However, they didn't answer that question.
Well,
Yeah.
So
I don't discount that people can like Prometheus. It's fine. It's just very much a different tone of movie.
It is.
it is.
Than
It is.
what they hyped it up to be as
Yeah.
like this is the story of Alien.
Personally, I like Prometheus better than Romulus, but it's not by much for me. But
Okay.
I appreciated for when Prometheus came out. That movie's beautiful.
No,
There
no,
are
it looks
some
great. It looks
2012.
really
great.
amazing
Sure.
shots and stuff in that, and really good use of effects and practical effects and such too. I think it just loses itself a little bit trying to take itself as serious as it does.
It
Unfortunately,
tries to be too pinky up.
it really
man.
does in that
It shouldn't be
series.
that way.
Yeah, but like
That's a good call, Roger. I think you're right. It does try to be a little too. It tries
Yeah.
to be more clever than you type of. And I
Yeah.
think that was the mistake. But then
But-
again, that's Ridley Scott. You know.
But even Romulus pays a little bit of homage to it because at the very end of Romulus, when you get the whatever that is at the end of that movie, it resembles the architects from Prometheus.
Prometheus. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like you
Well,
see
they
both.
they still make sure it's connected.
Yeah, which I appreciate
Well,
honestly.
And I know we're talking about.
Romulus is the superior movie. That's all.
That there's
And-
nothing there's I understand when people say that. I know I'm in the minority on Prometheus. I think Prometheus does more in good faith than people give it credit for. I think is my main thing. 'Cause
Okay.
Well,
That's
if we
a
hadn't
fair
gotten
point.
Covenant, we wouldn't have needed Romulus to course correct. And Romulus was, I think Romulus was a course correction. At least they tried to be like, "Hey guys, we know here's a little example where we're going. We know you want this. Take
Well,
it. Please
The one
forgive
thing
us."
after Prometheus that nobody wanted
yeah, was
was
Covenant.
Covenant. Because like, look, if you want to stick with it, if you go back 14 years ago and
Jesus.
you watch Prometheus and be like, and then immediately after people watch Prometheus, you're like, all right, the next movie, and then you give them the synopsis of Covenant, and be like, no, no, man, don't
Well,
do
it
that. And they're like,
It just continued
bigger
off.
budget. We're
It
doing
it just continued off the pinky up stuff. Is what it did.
Oh
It,
no,
like,
no, it went
Yeah.
two pinkies up.
Yeah, they went full Jesus in the rapture mode for Covenant. And
Well, I appreciate that because there's always been godlike symbolism in Alien. There's always been that. I mean, it's
No,
always.
I
been,
understand that too, but they really was like, this is how it is.
Yeah.
Deal with it.
And
And
as
then
odd
Ramos
as
is
it-
like, scary aliens on a boat. Ah!
And I remember, I know that I have that
Need to go
thing.
back to.
I had that thing, Roger. That the 4-hour documentary about they bring together all the people from Aliens and they talk about. I know that I haven't. I keep making to bring that home so you can kind of like flip through it. You expressed interest in it. You guys are both welcome to it. But they talk about. There's a section where they talk about after the success of Aliens. I think James Cameron's talking about being. He's like, we had all kinds of scripts. There was a script with there was like 15 people and 15 power loaders fighting 15 queens. Like that must have been a real thing because like that was
Hell yeah, brother.
I mean that's a very which actually found its way into Predator Badlands somehow.
I kind of appreciated it.
Yeah. Well, but that's my point is
Listen,
like
it's definitely corny,
Oh,
but
yeah.
it
well, which is my question. I mean, like I told you guys, I think Predator Badlands is a Predator movie in the Alien universe, which is like kind of where they
yeah,
put
that's fair.
Predator. So, anyway, just going back to, I know we're gonna get back on Predator here, but it's like I appreciate what they've done, and I appreciate that after because I think Fox after Covenant was like, all right, Alien's dead, that's going away forever. You guys don't want it, we don't want to make it anymore. But then
Well,
they keep coming back and giving
the
us little
thing is,
tidbits, and
you don't have to make it dead forever. You just have to like not pump out drivel.
yeah, I agree.
Well, unfortunately, I would argue that we even now with Alien Earth, we do got some dribble.
See, I haven't watched any Alien Earth, so which I've not heard a single good thing about.
No,
It's
and it's funny because the one thing that like I've watched so many documentaries and read so many essays and books on how they crafted like Cameron went to Ridley Scott and like they had long conversations about where the character's going, how Ridley Scott saw the creature and James Cameron expanded on the mythos and then later with the ill-fated last movie or the third movie which kind of expanded in a way but it's they it's funny how they always say the one thing the one thing Ripley can never do is make it back to Earth. The one thing can never happen in these movies. Never is an alien gets down to Earth. And now we have Alien Earth. That's kind of my thesis statement for filmmakers today is Alien Earth is a exact example of why filmmakers today are lesser than. And that's all I'm going to say about that. But like they take a concept that never should have been and they make it a thing. I would have rather a third Covenant movie than or a third movie in the Covenant after Covenant than Alien Earth.
They
if
do
I'm
some
being honest.
questionable decisions with Alien Earth. Like it's a shame you haven't seen it
Okay.
because the things that like we get back and forth on,
Would have
I
just
think
pissed me off.
Yes.
would be fun as hell to drive into the ground. But it's I think one of the most egregious things they do in Alien Earth, just to kind of give you a springboard,
Okay.
is that they turn the alien into a dog.
Oh Jesus!
Like
Well-
it's literally they try to make it someone's pet, and it's just such an idiotic thing to do because the
Sure.
alien is
I see where there could be drawbacks here.
the alien creature is this beast of mythos almost. It's
Yeah.
it's a godlike nightmarish entity, and then
Yeah, it's basically a demon.
because everything in this is is a synthetic, they have no fear of it, which is just I don't know. It doesn't
Well,
work.
it's a shame you haven't seen Alien Resurrection, Chris, because that was all what Alien Resurrection was about.
Okay, that was
They
fourth one that I
found
missed.
Yeah.
so the thing about Alien Resurrection is Ripley, who died in the third Alien film, I'm sure you've seen what that.
Yeah.
There's a couple different cuts how she falls into the
Spoilers.
fire. Like one cut of her and one
I don't
cut
think
of
we have
her.
to do that.
There's one cut of the queen bursting out of her as she falls in. I mean, it's all quite poetic, but it's so they found a way to revive her, and in doing so, they revive her with the queen inside of her. So then they get the
Okay.
queen, and then they start breeding. Of course, goes
Of
back to
course.
the Jurassic Park thing of like we can
Yeah.
always do it better. We can
Like
do it
God,
better.
baby, let's do it.
Yeah.
And it's like I think Brad Dourif, the guy who plays Wormtongue in
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings, he's like the scientist that like he's training them. Like they're on the other side of the glass and he's on this side, his hands on the button. And he's like, I'm gonna hit it, and then they back off. Like he's training them to not be violent. But of course, you
Yeah.
can't train the violence out of these things. That's the whole point. And then, of course, they loosen the ship, and that's where everything goes
Yeah, of
haywire.
course,
But
yeah.
that's the
And then
same thing.
things
It's like they tried to make them pets. They tried to weaponize them, which is the whole thing behind Weyland Yutani as the villain of all the Alien films, is because the company is always the villain because everything's expendable to get a weapon, an
Sure.
alien back to the bioweapons division. It's always
Yeah.
that way. So,
So,
which is,
what do you guys
but
think of
back to Predator.
Well, yeah. So, with kind of what we're already talking about, like the whole thing, what do we think of the Alien Predator franchise, like connected universe that they're obviously leading us down into now after seeing Badlands?
Well, it's weird because AVP isn't canon. Neither one of those are canon. So to me, it's weird because why would you go back to something you've already written off? That's what I don't
Well,
understand.
because they didn't do a good job when they wrote it the first time, and it's actually a little bit commendable that they're willing to do that. Right? It's all for money. Don't get me wrong.
Of course,
So
yeah.
screw them. But like they did this thing, and they did a really bad job at it, and they're like, okay, maybe not. But now they're looking at it again, going, so what if we did this again, but we treat it differently, and we treat it seriously?
Well, I mean, I definitely look at it as obviously cash.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, which is always going to be number one, just like you mentioned.
Mhm.
But I think the biggest idea is I like the idea of having them in the same universe because why not? Right?
There's a reason why the AVP movie in 2004 was such a hype movie. You know what I
Sure.
mean?
But there's no reason why, like we had a recent Aliens movie that's
Mhm.
pretty good.
Yeah.
We have a current Predator movie that's pretty good. There's no reason why we can't get a new AVP and have it hopefully be good. Now, I'm not advocating for that. I don't want that. It's not on my like, hey, in the
Yeah.
next couple of years we have to get one of those. I won't say that. If they keep making good Alien movies and keep making good Predator movies, I have no reason to believe that they couldn't put them two together and make a decent film.
Okay.
Now,
Well,
obviously, this isn't 20 years ago. You definitely have a better story you could tell now from both perspectives. And there's nothing to say that you have to use one of our timelines that we're currently in. I
Mhm.
mean, I would prefer it just because if you're going to be up on things, you might as well have it all. But I
Yeah.
mean, back to Prey for a second. One of the cool things about Prey is it happens, you know, in the time of indigenous people, Native Americans in the United States. So like we're back in the mid to early 1800s.
Mhm.
Like and it works. So like as long as the story is good, I will watch it. Just don't slap these two franchises together
Yeah.
and be like, we have to make this because people love seeing the Wayland sticker on things.
yes.
Like we don't you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
You don't. Just
Well,
make
I
a
mean,
good
there's
movie,
there's an
give it time.
asterisk to that. There's an asterisk to that because I've heard the producers of the Alien franchise talk about how they want to get away from the Marines because everyone wants it. And I don't know, and I think they're kind of in the one interview I saw
Strange
with
way
them.
to sell your product.
Well, I think they're using it as a failsafe, as like, okay,
Sure.
that's if we have no other option, we bring that for the Marines, the pulse rifle, the smart gun, and because like that's obviously the most popular movie in the franchise. But why wouldn't you just gear it that way now? I don't know. I know with Predator that won't work, but with Aliens it will work, and I don't know why you wouldn't do that. Probably
I think
because we have other options though. But
I
it's weird.
think that soldiers and like Marines and such and that kind of bravado really worked back in the 80s and 90s, and it's less desirable by
Sure.
a large part of the audience now. I think is what it is, or maybe it's less desirable by most of the writers and stuff now. I think is maybe probably more the issue. It's not as like put on a pedestal is the wrong phrase, but I can't think of what I'm thinking of. But like, it's not seen as such high esteem as maybe it was back in the 80s and 90s.
Okay.
Whereas now people that are making these movies and such, it isn't the same kind of like like thing to aspire to or thing to put into the limelight as like your heroic characters. They want all your characters to be relatable. They want them to be underdogs. They want them to be this that, the other qualities that are like the main characters or the main protagonists in a lot of things we're getting.
Well, it's
Probably
also
why.
studios are trying to be politically conscious now, and Disney certainly wouldn't do the male Marine bravado thing now. And they're both. I mean, Fox is owned by Disney, isn't it? So
There's no
This is
it's
Disney. Yeah,
20th
100%.
Century Studios now.
sorry, it's 20th Century. Well, that's owned by Disney. So I mean,
Yeah, it's Disney.
So I mean, there's not really a great chance they're going to go into that. So I don't know where all that kind of, I don't know where
Well-
that talk in the early 2000s, I don't know where they're sitting with any of that stuff now.
Well, talking about like the connected universe thing and like an Alien Predator cinematic universe, nobody knows the value of a well done cinematic universe than Disney. Like
Sure.
they know what this thing could be, and they have Marvel on the side here floundering. So of course they would go for this, right? And like, what's the worst case scenario? It doesn't work. Okay, then they just scrap it all anyway, or they let it kind of peter out. If it does great, they win. So
Well, that's the other thing too, is, and not to make this a Marvel discussion, but one thing to say about it is, yes, it's currently floundering
Mhm.
until it's not.
well, yeah, no,
And,
yeah,
and well, legitimately until, hey, one of those 5 movies hit $2 billion.
Yeah,
You know,
true.
and like that's the way you can definitely look at it
Yeah.
from the gambling perspective. If you just keep throwing it out there, one of these might hit.
Yeah. Well, like say in the next 4 years we get 2 more movies in the Alien / Predator connected universe,
Okay.
and one of them makes $78 million and loses $128 million, and one of them ends up making $700 million, and they're like, and then all of a sudden we start getting one of these every 2 years. You know what I mean? It'll happen. You'll see it to where they
We
kick this
don't
thing
need
into
episodic
high
movies
speed.
like that. Yeah.
Well, sure, and it's, who knows, maybe Alien Earth, maybe that's the intention with Alien Earth, is to,
I think they wanted Alien Earth to be the tent pole, because then you could just, between movies, have
Have a
series
series.
planned to kind of bridge gaps or like start stories. I just think that they missed the mark on Alien Earth so bad that that won't happen now. But they put a lot into Alien Earth, a ton of
well,
money.
but again, it's not, the viewership is so far down, it's not even that much I've heard. But to bring the conversation back to the Predator universe, we've been away from for like 20 minutes, is, so within the conversation of Badlands, I want you guys to, so there's also, aside from the 2 AVP movies which we've talked about, there's also The Predator, which was 2018. Shane Black made it, which is a big deal because he was kind of in that he's in that original camp. And then there's also Predator 2, which I don't hate nearly as much as people say it's awful. I wouldn't say, it's just okay, and that's fine. Predators, remember, with Adrian Brody and
Oh God,
That was in what, 2009?
2010-ish, yeah. And then of course we have,
That's not good.
well, we have an animated thing called Predator: Killer of Killers, which we'll talk about. Again, the same director, I
That's
think,
decent.
as Prey and Predator: Badlands. We also have Predator with Arnold. We have Predator: Badlands and Prey. So I mean, like, I'd like to. It's out if you remove the AVP movies from canon, which I think
They are.
We
I don't
it's fine.
think there's a bad Predator movie. I really don't. Which is impressive.
The 2010
Predators
one's
is not good.
Would you call it bad or not
Yes.
good? Okay.
No, I mean, okay. If you want to be that drilled down into it, it's bad.
Okay, fair enough.
There's no reason to ever go watch that movie.
Well, I would look at it like this: if I were ranking them, which is easy to do, there's only 5 or 6 movies,
True.
right?
It's on the bottom, right?
They're both right there. They're the
Yeah.
they're the last 2.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Which 2? Predators and AVP 2?
Well,
No, remove AVP and AVP 2.
No, yeah,
just
we're not-
Okay, gotcha.
no.
So there's 7.
What's the name of the other one with Adrian Brody? What's the name of that one?
Predators.
Well, isn't there one more?
There's The Predator, Predators.
The Predator. I'm sorry.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
okay.
Yeah,
The Predator is, I think, one of the worst. If
Yeah.
you're going to rank
So
them, yeah.
it would be, so the bottom 2 would be Predators and The Predator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're equally, without having to define it, they're the bottom 2.
Yeah.
And they're the bottom 2 for a reason. But the other ones up top, it would probably be the original Predator.
Mm-hmm.
It would probably be Prey,
And Badlands.
Badlands, and then Predator 2.
Mhm.
And since I've never seen the animated thing,
Yeah.
so but I hear it's good, so let's assume it falls
In the middle somewhere.
in the middle
Yeah,
somewhere.
it's fair.
Would anybody
No,
say much
doesn't
different than that?
I mean, that's close enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Regardless, if you want to transpose one or the 2 of those,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Ballpark, it's pretty
Yeah,
pretty similar.
I like
right?
that.
Yeah, I think you're probably right about that. That's where I would probably, on a knee-jerk ranking system, that's probably where I'd do it. But I don't think there's actually more Predator movies, Rogers, than there are Alien movies.
I think
I
that's
want-
crazy.
Predators are easier to do.
I think so.
Predators
I think
are
so.
humanoid. They have a helmet on.
Well, and they're smaller cast too.
Yeah.
If you think about it,
It can be.
because I mean, honestly, if you think about just Badlands for a second, right? There's what, 6 characters?
There's 6
And-
actors.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
But
mean,
but you know what I meant.
I know.
Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, we get multiple people played by, or multiple people played by the same
Yeah.
people.
I mean, Alien Romulus is what, 8 or 9? Like,
Yeah,
it wasn't that much
still
either.
smaller scale, but I mean, even back to the original Arnold Predator, just what, 7 people, 8
Yeah,
people in
yeah.
the movie, and the jungle's a character.
Yeah.
It
So,
is.
like, that's, yeah.
Kind of like
Maybe
the ship is.
people that
in
maybe of all the
Romulus.
people that
Definitely a character.
yeah.
Yeah.
Of all the people that appear on screen, the first Predator film, there's probably like 13, but there's like some of those come and
yeah.
go, and really
Yeah.
quick. So yeah, I just
Speaking-
think that's nuts. But I appreciate what they're doing. I appreciate the whole Wayland Yutani thing. I mean, it's crazy to me. This is a Predator movie because the only thing Predator about this movie is the Predator. I mean, that's it, one character, and everything else is alien. That's, to me, that almost says that they've committed to. I mean, personally, I think Alien is the more interesting character of the two in this weird kind of bubble of those two. Alien by far is the more interesting villain, but I mean, Predator still. It's interesting to me how they've committed to the Alien, and Predator's kind of like a footnote in the expanded universe.
Predator's got better movies recently too. I mean,
Yeah,
Romulus is pretty
you're right.
good, but Prey and Badlands is probably.
I mean,
I'm more of a Protoss guy than a Zerg guy, so I don't know if
Yeah,
I agree with
that's
that,
fair.
honestly. But it is what it is.
interesting.
I mean, Zerg Rush wins almost every time. Just saying, but yeah. So I mean, it's
Only if you're bad at defense.
that's correct. But I mean, they can multiply pretty quick. But the conversation to me becomes more nuanced when you look at Badlands, because what were you guys expecting going into Predator Badlands? Let me first ask that question.
Well, are we talking about Badlands now, or
let's talk. Well, let's do it then. Let's shift gears here.
Okay.
Because I think we should shift directly to Badlands and I want Chris to talk about hype for a second.
Yeah.
Because I think that will lead right back into the conversation we were about to get started.
Yeah,
with. So,
and the hype conversation is good because it actually affected us and,
Yes.
and decisions we
very,
made for the
very
show.
much so.
Okay, so
let me just do the particulars
Yeah,
out of the
go ahead,
way.
light us
So if we're gonna talk about Badlands, I was gonna lead into talking about Badlands directly, but
Yeah, scroll.
do you guys know what the numbers are for Badlands?
Extremely high.
I'm very happy to say that the tomato meter is 85. And the popcorn meter is 95 on this bad boy.
I never did check the Metacritic though, but I knew that was big.
Metacritic's going to be like 74.
71. 71.
Still pretty good.
Yeah.
It's a good number.
Well, anything over 70 is a must watch. If you ask me, it's a must watch. So let's get all the particulars out of the way, though. Predator Badlands surprised the hell out of me. I will say. Badlands. Sorry, I've caught me off guard.
You're
I deleted it. I deleted it. Fill time. Fill time. All right, here we go.
Yep. Time's been filled.
All right, so of course Dan Trachtenberg, which has been the recent architect of the Predator. So I mean, I like the fact that one guy is doing. I mean, he obviously has a passion for his character, and and what he's doing is working. Because I haven't seen any of the like Roger. I haven't seen any of the animated Predator Killer of Killers, but I hear good things. Or Chris, have you seen any of it?
I haven't watched it. I watched 2 like synopsis reviews of it and stuff, and it looks interesting enough.
Oh, good.
And
Is
I've
it
heard
is
good
it
things.
like a animated, like a full feature?
It's like what ifs.
Oh, so it's episodic.
Yeah, think of it that way.
Well, I think that they the Predator does battle with like all the baddest warriors through history. Like I know that like the samurai and some of the warriors in medieval England, maybe I don't know. I'm just guessing. I haven't seen it, but
Cool.
all right. Dan Trachtenberg, and of course written by Patrick A. Azen. Elle Fanning also surprised me so much, and Demetrius Schuster. I'm gonna mess this up. Kola Matangi he voices Deke. He's doing Deke.
That's the deck.
Deck. Rohino Nehan, Michael Horrocks, Stephen Krug, and Ruben De Jong. Let's talk about it. Chris, lead us into the thumbs up, thumbs down, and then hype, please.
So, guys, Predator Badlands. What did you guys think of it? Thumbs up, thumbs down. In 3, 2, 1. What you got?
Ooh.
Wow, I'm surprised, Chris. I'm very surprised.
Yeah, it is what it is. So,
Wait, you have to explain. You all explain yourself. Like, just give a quick.
this movie doesn't suck. This movie sucks as a Predator movie. This is a movie with a Predator in it. This is not a Predator movie, is what I have the biggest problem with.
I think that's a valid argument.
And
That's what I've been saying.
well, I mean, like that's something that I thought of the whole time I was watching it, and then I couldn't help but be completely turned off by what felt like Disney checking off boxes in this movie. This is not a movie that I expected it to be, even though I knew who made it and everything. And so, again, the movie is not bad. If you go into this and you just want a sci-fi movie that's cool and easy to watch, this movie's fine. But that's not what I expect from Predator. There's not a single Predator movie before this that would let me think that this is what I was going to get. And it's fine that they want to explore the Predator or to give us a movie where the Predator is the protagonist or at least the anti-hero that we're following. Think Logan, right? It's
Sure.
kind of like down that vein in a way. But like this is a step beyond that simple following a Predator or the Predator being the focus. This fundamentally changes the way you think of Predators. Apply everything about this Predator to all of your previous Predator movies, and it changes the way that the mystique of the character is all the way through. So I have a problem with that in a big way. And then I talk about the Disneyfication, the check boxes of this. Like we have the father of the clan, and he's problematic, right? He's just a big scary man dude with
Sure.
man values, and that's bad, obviously, because he kills his son because he wants to kill the other son. And then we go to and we get the witty sidekick in the buddy cop comedy that we're watching.
It is a buddy cop
And then
comedy.
we get Stitch that shows up in the Lilo and Stitch movie that is a marketable piece of
Yeah, you're right.
toys that sell when
The
you're
baby
going out.
Calyx.
Yeah, like it's just all these things that come together, and then it doesn't feel like a Predator movie, and maybe that's what they're going for, and I don't got to be happy about it, but I don't have to be okay with the movie they made either. So
Yep. Fair.
yeah, that's where I stand on it.
I kind of agree with you on some of it. I mean, you have
Yeah,
valid
yeah,
points. Obviously, you have valid points. The first thing, I mean, about half an hour in, I just kept thinking about why am I watching a Predator in an alien movie? I just kept thinking that why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? And ultimately, I came across I didn't think it mattered that much. So I
Yeah.
guess it didn't bother me that much.
Well,
But
I don't have I don't have a problem with the whole alien elements that are in the Predator movie. If their goal is to bring them together, I'm all for that. I mean, I think that's some of the most exciting stuff that they could probably like work towards. But I feel like the Weyland Yutani Corp is the same as them. Just when in doubt, Nazi out is kind of like the way that they treat it instead of making it interesting. It's very easy to throw some synthetics in the movie, make them the villain, and then watch them do villainy stuff.
Big nameless corporation doing big bad things.
And I know nameless corporation doing big bad things is like the alien thing, but that's the alien thing, and it works because they never get it right. And as in Weyland Eutonics never gets it right. They always mess up, right? We see them
Something bad
fail.
always happens.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we see
Yep.
them fail over and over again. Where in this, it's not even that. It's they make decisions that I don't think Weyland Yutani would make. I think the second that they have the Predator's weapons, that's on a cargo ship going back to Weyland Yutani. They've never had it. They talk about how they need to they want to interrogate the Predator so that they can learn about the weaponry. They would never not send that back immediately, but they do, and then they never get to explore that either. And it's just
Love that she just starts using it.
yeah, it's,
I think that's awesome.
yeah. But like it's things like this that kind of break my suspension of disbelief and me being able to buy into it as a Predator movie, and it got in the way of my enjoyment of it, which may be on me. Again, one of the things I want to jump into was like the hype behind this film,
Sure.
because there's hype everywhere for this leading in. Like a bunch of people that that I trust their opinions on movies were talking up this thing. They lifted the embargo early and let people talk about it,
Yep.
and all this stuff came out about it, which was which swayed us on kind of like what we were looking at for our movie.
Yep, we were leaning heavily towards talking about Nuremberg as a group, and about halfway through the week, we were texting each other, and because of the hype for Badlands and the reviews and everything,
Yeah.
we shifted, and I think we probably made the right call.
Oh, agreed, 100%.
Given the amount of money that it did. So
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that the people hyping up this movie, I don't know how much I trust them in their opinion, as Predator fans, but as like a mindless popcorn flick, this thing passes all those checks, which I think lends itself to the audience score that Grayson just read out, right?
Well,
This movie's good enough to be like, yeah, hell yeah. You know what I mean? But like, it's not a Predator movie, in my
Well,
opinion.
Well, can I
The-
ask a question?
sure.
I want to ask you, Chris, if and this is what I always do too is, but if you take the movie that you watch as a Native American warrior being cast out by his tribe because he's not strong enough, and all of a sudden his brother tries to protect him, gets killed, and then he's now determined to see this through so his brother didn't die in vain, and then you replace those elements with Alien and Predator stuff. As far as you isolate that movie being told, do you think that this script was told with the coherency that it made sense and moved at a pace it should, with is I guess correlated to like what we consider to be good filmmaking values? I guess
I
that's
think
the question.
I think it's fluffy. I think that along the way in that Native American spin on the movie, do they befriend a chimpanzee because it looks like ape like? You know what I mean?
Can I chime in for a second?
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
please.
Let me spin Grayson's idea
Yeah.
one slightly different direction, because everything Grayson said is correct, by
Yeah.
the way, about the native or about the
Yeah.
indigenous person being outcast and basically trying to redeem his brother's death. That's ultimately the synopsis of this film.
Yeah.
Let me spin this a different way. Lone Wolf becomes buddy cop movie,
Mhm.
heavily sci-fi driven, never has to have the word predator in it.
Yeah.
Would you buy into that?
It's probably, I'd buy into it more than I did this.
Right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I think what I just said is very much this version of this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, you take Lone Wolf, skilled guy who doesn't have any friends, doesn't know what friends are.
Mhm.
Just standard guy lives alone in the woods, meets somebody who is semi-capable, also weird,
Mhm.
and then they pick up a dog.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That becomes part of the clan.
Yeah.
That's
I
this
hadn't
movie.
thought of that, Chris, but damn it, if you just didn't shove that in my head, the Stitch thing is like you're right about. Like, I don't often bend on stream like this to an idea like that, but you are 100% right about that. That's now I will not hear any argument against like that was their thinking behind it.
It's just the way it just, again, knowing who made this, I think kind of
Yeah.
also jades me a little bit. And again, I'm willing to be wrong on this. It affected me while I was watching the movie because it became like this whole thing where, well, of course, she's going to betray him and she's going to feel bad about it. And, but of course they're going to make a mistake on not killing him or knocking him out or something, like all these things that it's like by the numbers almost. And then, it just
Well, I don't
turned
think
me
she
off of it.
betrays him. I mean, she legitimately wants him to walk away from it and just go live his life somewhere, like start over. She doesn't betray him, right?
She
Am I wrong
absolutely
about that?
betrays him
She
by lying
betrays
to
him
him.
when he gets captured and
Yeah.
they're going to test on him. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
and it
but
gets him
she
caught.
doesn't want him to get captured. After she needs him to bring her to the ship so she can have her legs. I know if you haven't seen it, it sounds awkward, but and then so she says, "Leave, just get out of here. My sister's coming. Just go."
Yeah.
I don't see that as betrayal. I see that as one. He calls her a tool, so one tool using another tool, but then tool B was actually using tool A. So I mean, it
She purposefully deceived him to get what she needed despite his
sure.
safety.
But I don't see that as a betrayal. I guess. Sorry. I'm just getting lost in the. I'll just stop. But I don't quite see that as a betrayal.
Okay, that's
Okay.
fair.
But
I see it as that, but it's again, it's just these things that kind of like turned me off to the viewing experience of me seeing a Predator movie. Like
Well-
I just don't think it has a place in it, in my opinion. And again, I'm willing to be wrong on it.
Well, I don't want to try to sway you because that's not
Yeah.
what we do here. But I will give out some things because as much as you might think it's not strictly a Predator movie, and it's a fair statement that it's not, we absolutely get the Predator montage here, of the Predator learning his environment, you like making weapons out of things that he encounters, which is something many of the Predator movies have done. Learning how to manipulate things to explode, or being able to use the spike plant thing to knock everything out. That's very much something they've done in multiple Predator movies at this point.
Yeah, but they do that in Home Alone too.
Sure, but they did it in Predator first. So,
Fair. Yeah, came out first.
if you want to put the correlation,
Yeah,
Home Alone
but it's
captures.
the humans doing that in like the first Predator movie, not the Predator.
Sure, but
You know what I mean?
it's still
Well, because
a
like
very Predator
think
thing.
about it, the Predator Deck,
Deck, I think. Deck.
Deck is Arnold Schwarzenegger in this movie.
Pretty much.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? He's that character.
Well, I mean, it's funny you bring it up because like his name was Dutch, and so they even stole the first initial, like
Yeah, maybe.
the
I mean,
D.
like,
But
I don't know if that's what they were
Sure.
going for, but that's the correlation. I mean, he becomes the environment
Mhm.
to use it against
Has to.
everybody, you know, and stuff like that. So it again, he doesn't show up on this planet, and I'm not saying it has to, but all of my other previous experiences with predators is they show up as the apex. And I know they're hunting something for a right, but
Yep.
like this whole planet could have been Pandora. Everything here is trying to kill you,
Pretty much.
which we've seen in so many other sci-fi movies. It's an overused trope. The whole planet's trying to kill you, and it's like, okay, and but like he overcomes these things, which is cool, but it's just in this very hand wavy way where I don't. I'd have been more interested if this movie where he, while can struggle some, like he should be feared. You know what I mean? Like
Well,
they're they strike fear into everything
well,
because of what they
I
are.
think part of that too, though, the reason you don't really get that kind of feeling here is because there are no human characters here. They look human.
Yeah.
They're just synths, though.
Yeah.
So like they're not actually afraid of anything.
Yeah, I
They are
know.
just they are literally the mindless point A point B robots, and they're like kill him. They're like okay, like they don't care that they're going to get burned or could get their hand severed off and
Yeah.
things like that. Like they don't have that kind of fear.
I don't know.
well, one of
You're
them
not
did.
wrong.
One of them did
I
when he screamed
don't
in
mean to
pain.
interrupt you on that. You're right.
One of them did when they screamed in pain when something got. I wondered why the guy screamed in pain when he got something shot on his face from the weird like biological cannon that the predator ended up
Yeah.
having. And the guy's like, like why are you screaming? Like you don't feel pain as a synthetic.
Well,
Also,
the-
Chris, one thing I will say to your defense here is we also don't get the boop 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 boop. We don't get like the we don't get a view of like the predator armlet like with the buttons.
Yeah.
He doesn't
and
have it.
It's
we also
broken.
don't get
Yeah.
that too.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Yep.
still, that's iconic, man. You
Well,
can't.
I
not
do
have
think
that.
though that is something that they make a point of in this movie is he doesn't have his full tech allotment. He doesn't have his helmet. He doesn't have a shoulder cannon.
Mhm.
His gauntlet is busted.
Yeah.
The only thing that is working is his blade and his sword
His bow
Those are some-
too.
and his bow. Well, he loses the bow right off the bat
Yeah,
he
it's
uses
true.
it at the end. Yeah, I think he
because
loses it
like
right
the
after
tree
that,
thing gets the bow
Yeah,
or
it takes it.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
It's like the whole I don't know. I got very tired of watching Chris Farley carry around David Spade this entire movie on his back. So that's just something that
interesting.
bothered
Well,
me.
something else
That's a
I couldn't
correlation
really.
I didn't think you would make.
Well, something else I couldn't
Alright.
get out of my head was, of course, Chewbacca and
C3PO.
C-3PO. Like
that's
that's.
the vibe that I had. Yes.
I mean, of course, how can you not? But then, I guess the question is, why do it if no one's not going to think about that? Because those are both very '80s things, and it bothered me. That did bother me somewhat. It's just the blatant ripping off. They're not even trying to disguise it anymore as something else. It's just so blatant.
I think my point on the hype, though, take us back to the beginning, and then we can dive in because there's plenty in here to like, right? Like, I don't hate this movie. I hate that this is a Predator movie. I think I should be clear on that. I can't believe that every single outlet that is hyping this movie up that nobody thinks this is a bad buddy cop movie or like the buddy cop element doesn't
Well,
belong in Predator.
I have seen no one thinks it's a bad buddy cop movie, but there are plenty of people that recognize it as a buddy cop movie. I
Yeah.
have definitely seen that.
I'm surprised that there aren't people that have a problem with that. But
I mean, I
it is what it
guess
is.
I guess it really boils down to whether they like the movie or not.
Well,
Here's
I
the thing: if you don't like it, you're going to thrash it for that.
Yeah.
If it turns out you're like, I still view this movie positively, it's kind of like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Well, I think, Chris, this might go back to what you often say. Well, I mean, what is often said in the show, I think you say it the majority of the time, though, is like these niche movies, only people talking about them are people that feel invested, emotionally invested. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, so I think people just might be so happy, the same reason Romulus, that it just didn't suck. Like, that's the important part here is like, it was actually a decent made movie. Because think about, I mean, think about if you're a Predator fan or an Alien fan from the 80s. You've not had a good run of things in the last
Yeah.
30 years. You've
Like,
just 40
so
years.
do we
You've
feel
not.
like that maybe? Do we feel like that maybe they're gonna pigeonhole themselves into never letting Predator or Alien be the rated R movie that it needs to be? I know Romulus was R, right? I get that,
Sure.
but with the way that this is like kind of shifting with Predator, like they're gonna pigeonhole themselves into this only ever being PG-13, and we're not gonna get the like horror monster movie thing that Predator could be, because that's what it is. It's a monster movie is what we got with the first two at least. So like we're never going to get that because now it won't make as much money if it's not PG-13, and they're going to pigeonhole themselves into this weird. It's got to be PG-13 and can't be red blood, and it's got to be kind of like about the predator now instead of where we're used to seeing predator stuff go, which just means the era of predator that we know that we talked about at the beginning of the show just might be past us,
It's
which
changing at
yeah,
least.
that might
I
be
don't
it.
think that's I'm as pure as a film guy as anyone out there, and some things I didn't say on a previous show, like Begonia, was like, if you keep making movies like Begonia, if you want to, please do, but Hollywood will be dead in a year
Well, let
because
me
no one
ask
wants
you.
to watch. No one watches that crap. But
Let me
like Badlands did very well. This so like we need movies like, and like
hold on.
maybe that somewhat factors into what they're saying. So go ahead.
Yeah, let me ask you. You just said it. Predator Badlands just did very well. So what movie executive is going to look at the next Predator movie and say, "Yeah, make it rated R"?
Well, they wouldn't,
Well,
especially coming from
I don't.
Disney.
Well, I don't know if that's the case either, but I do think now there is a big deeper discussion that they can have. Say, hey, we did make one that was PG-13 that is successful.
Mhm.
And in all honesty, like it doesn't necessarily feel like it's a PG-13 movie because there is plenty of violence.
Mhm.
There is a standard amount of swearing.
Yeah,
The real thing that they get away with it being PG-13 is there's no blood
yeah.
because they're all synths and don't have blood.
Mhm.
Like I think though, honestly, I think that's fairly clever because this
do.
movie is plenty brutal.
Yeah.
Like, we see plenty of synths get destroyed.
Mhm.
We see the calyx get, you know, gutted through with a chainsaw blade on a giant loader.
Mhm.
It's still there. It's just somehow they get it through as PG-13.
Yeah, but now is every one of these Predator movies going to be sense only animals and or we're never going to get a deeper story, into this besides just what we're able to get away with now that we've done it once and it was successful.
Unfortunately, we'll never know that real answer to that until the next movie.
True. Yeah.
I don't necessarily think it as something they would intentionally hamstring themselves with, but you never know how the executives make their decisions anyway.
Yeah.
Where I look at it as kind of a positive. I absolutely can see the negative side of it though.
Yeah.
It's just it really will depend individually on how you want to take that. Be like, well, next Predator's got to be PG-13, or somebody's like, does it have to be, or was it just coincidentally that it was?
Yeah.
Like again though, that there's a deeper discussion in that.
True. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
which
Well,
is
but
not
that's I
really
mean,
what we're gonna do today.
which is weird because Prey is plenty
is rated
gory,
R.
plenty
Yeah.
violent, and it is rated R. And
Rated
it's
R on a streaming service. You know
I
what I mean?
think I mean I would if you're gonna I mean there's three movies of Predator in the Predator universe that you should talk about top three. There's obviously now Badlands because of the reviews, Prey, and Predator. So I personally think Prey and I could see an argument for interchangeable. I think Predator is better than Prey, but I think Prey is like if it's just a little, it's not by much. But I think Badlands is kind of somewhat below there. But
Sure,
it's
I
what
agree with
doesn't
that.
make any sense to me is I didn't even realize it was PG-13 until about 2 hours before we started recording. I was actually surprised,
Yeah.
but
Well, and then here's the thing though, like for most people going into this film, they don't know that it's PG-13. And I would be hard pressed for a lot of them coming out of it, like if you're really not that informed in that kind of stuff, they probably don't even realize that it is.
Yeah.
Which again can be seen as a negative, but from the movie's perspective, is kind of a win.
Mhm.
So, I mean, from marketing, clearly it's a win.
Oh,
So,
yeah,
Well,
definitely, right?
100%.
if their goal is to eventually move towards an MCU style shared universe with both the Alien and the Predator, and maybe we get Colonial
And
Marines
the
again.
Marvel Universe,
No. I
Iron
was
Man
saying
flying in, just whipping some
akin
xenomorph sass.
akin to the MCU is we get the Predator. We get, obviously we know there's multiple Predators. We've seen that in many films. We know the aliens are like a hive culture. The Colonial Marines are involved. Some point or not, humans are involved. Ripley's been. I mean,
Also a hive culture.
there's a
It's gross.
yes, you're correct.
I just
There's a
pictured. You mentioned the Marvel thing. I just pictured the Incredible Hulk version of an alien if it if it takes him over.
That'd be bad.
that's that's the
That'd be very
Predalien.
bad.
That's the
Predalien?
Predalien. Yeah, that's what we
Yeah.
got in the second Predator for Alien AVP. I
Fair.
think there's a lot of interesting things to work with. Me I keep going back in my head to like, am I happy with this? I'm happy it didn't suck.
Yeah.
Sure.
Am I thrilled about this movie? That's why, like, when I walked out, I'm like, Predator is still king, baby. 1987, never be beat. And I see right before we started recording, I got curious because I don't usually do that because I want my thoughts to be my own. But
Yeah.
people are saying, "Oh, Predator Badlands." I'm like, did we watch the same movie? I mean, this, what we do, the thumbs up and thumbs down, is simply 51 up and 49
Sure.
down. You know
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean? So
So I let in kind of hot because
Sure.
I think you guys were surprised that I was down on the movie
Was
in
a
a way.
little bit, yeah. That's okay.
What do you guys like about the movie? Why is this such a big win for you guys?
Well, I don't necessarily think it's been win for me personally in like the Predator universe,
Well, I mean,
but I'll answer. I think it's a win for Predator in general.
Okay.
Because we already talked about the PG-13 thing, but one last statement I'll make on it is they made a Predator movie that is PG-13 that is at least currently successful.
Yeah.
That for the studio is a win. I also think they took a character like Predator, and I don't know how intentional it is, but I mean, in this movie, it's very intentional. I don't know how much they want to drive this going forward. They absolutely humanize a Predator.
Yeah.
Like family outcast, revenge, as human of emotions as you can have. Okay, very much humanize it. And they also show us that you can have a Predator be different. Instead of being the lone wolf, like she tells them about actually wolves, and
Wolf
the
pack.
alpha protects the pack.
Mm.
We've never seen a whole lot. We've never really seen a movie from the Predator standpoint before. This is the first in that. Maybe this Predator is different. Clearly, he's at least a little bit different, right?
Mm.
I don't know how necessarily that's going to fit in future Predator things. But for right now, we have a Predator that is very different than every Predator we've ever seen. Absolutely has a synth with him and a big mean dog, and he killed the chief. I don't know what that means in their little world either. Is he the chief now? I don't know. This movie ends with another giant ship pulling up saying it's his mom. So who knows where that goes? I think this movie is a win for me just in the fact that it's different.
Okay.
And well, it's not all great because, like I joked about earlier, this movie is absolutely buddy cop movie.
Yeah.
And look, if you don't like that, you won't like this part of that movie. Like, I will not try to convince you should love all buddy cop movies. You don't have to. Some are terrible. Fine. But the real thing is like they do something very different in a Predator movie, and for most of it, I think it's fine.
Yeah.
And again, though, like Grayson and you guys mentioned earlier, maybe because the bar is so low, me just not hating it makes it a win.
Yeah.
Because like I won't say I love this movie, but I think it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I will give it. I mean, I gave it a thumbs up. It's positive for me. I think just the fact that they took something and made it different, because like, look, we've seen people try, and again, I hate to turn it back to Alien for a second, but since they are connected, is we have seen people try to take Alien a different direction and have it get thrown right back in their faces. Like, we don't want this shit, how dare you? And then they double down and make movies even worse after that with Covenant. I think because somebody at least tried something different that is being received, I think that's a positive for Predator in general.
I would argue that they didn't do something different though. They did something that's the same as everything else. So, like, they didn't take a risk here. They made the safe choice. They
Okay.
made the choice where they made the main character an underdog, which everyone loves an underdog.
Sure,
They
everybody
made him
does.
relatable.
Mhm.
They threw in, like the buddy cop
Comedy.
thing.
There's comedy in there.
Yeah. Do you, and comedy in a Predator movie feels wrong in my brain too. But like, I understand how it can have its uses. But like, they didn't do anything risky. They did everything as safe as possible
Well,
here.
does that mean it's bad though?
I'm not saying that it's bad, but like I don't agree with the movie, like the decisions that were made being praiseworthy though, because they didn't do anything outside of the box.
Well,
They took Predator that was already outside of the box and dropped it in the box.
okay. Well, I understand what you're saying, but can I ask
Yeah,
this question?
yeah.
So, yes, they did the safe thing,
Mhm.
but the safe thing here is different than what they did before. Where, yeah, they did make him relatable, they did humanize him. We never seen that before.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Well,
so like they took somebody that was primarily just this big sullen douche badass,
Mhm.
right? Like lone wolf out by himself,
Yeah.
doesn't talk to nobody, and they definitely humanize him.
Yeah.
And is that safe? Yeah, you're probably right in that, but it
Yeah.
is different.
I would argue that they humanized the Predators almost enough with his brother.
Mhm.
Like having his brother stand up to the dad
Sure.
and being killed for it, that already kind of like it makes you, it has an emotional hit that his brother's gone, right?
Yeah.
So it's like,
Well, his brother, who clearly is the one he has a link to.
yeah, and it's like, and I also found that weird. Like, wouldn't like you not want to get rid of your obvious like up and coming son? Isn't like that hurt your clan, whatever? But like whatever laws they have is whatever. But like, I
Yeah, so
just
that's something too. I would like to see more of that.
yeah,
Like, you tell me more of that. I honestly don't think though, without this movie being successful, I
Mhm.
don't think we ever see anything else like that too, though,
yeah,
because we've never seen anything like that before,
yeah,
at least that I
gotcha.
remember.
Not
Um,
really.
so again, I think that's another win. It's like now you
Okay.
have a different tree of Predator story to take a
To
look at if you
explore,
want
yeah.
to. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the Predator's never been the main character, like the
We've never
protagonist
seen a
of a
Predator
Predator
normal
film.
either, have we?
No, I don't. Well, I mean, in AVP,
Melted Prime?
I think AVP maybe we saw one for like a few seconds briefly, but I don't think we ever actually saw a homeworld. But it's very like temple-y and Aztec-y, and I think that's the goal. I mean, I think
It's
that's what I'm
very
picturing
native.
is very Native American like. But
Well,
it's
isn't the pull in AVP that like the Predators are responsible for the pyramids and stuff? They're like
yes,
Yes.
they
they're the
use them as
lore of
hunting
the
grounds.
Egyptians.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
I here's the thing about the humanization is the thing I had a problem with, I think Roger just said, was like the dad's motives don't make any sense to me. And if we thought the dad was scary, now they're telling us the mom is really scary.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's coming to kind of a weird way to segue that movie. Thought that was odd that we segued it like that. I
Well, you
also
gotta
don't
have sequel bait.
like how we did the after they solve the problem, save the day, they are an unlikely trio of people that just ride off into the sunset and they're gonna go do their own thing for a while. Like I don't. Again, like I get
Like
how
fucking Guardians of the Galaxy.
It feels like
I
a bad Star Wars script.
it does, but I get how Chris you think. I get how you like this is not a Predator movie, and I get that.
Yeah,
I
but
don't know
again,
how deep that goes though, because
yeah,
it's one of those things that I'm not.
It's
I also
definitely
don't like.
different.
I also don't like the constant.
Tonally, it's different.
I also don't like the constant chatter. I don't because like we've never heard a Predator say more than a few words, and even with Arnold, like he just
Well,
he
so
he parroted back to them. He was able to mimic what they said, kind of like lure them
a
in.
hand wave explain that how
well,
she's talking to him in his language or
well,
whatever.
yeah. So that's one thing is like because I would argue he still doesn't talk much.
He doesn't talk much, but he talks a lot.
He
Well, not
talks a lot. I would
I
put a
honestly
lot.
think he answers her.
Mhm.
So like the same reason you answer your kids sometimes, so they'll stop talking.
Yeah, maybe.
Because like again though, that's more humanizing a predator. Like this thing is annoying me. If I just give it the answer,
Yeah, but like he's like the whole thing where he's grieving his brother, and she's like, "Oh, you're grieving." Like I don't know if that fits, but in this
it
movie, it
fits
obviously does.
at that weird character. It fits at that
Yeah,
time. Now for Deck himself, maybe he's grieving, maybe he's not,
yeah,
because he never really is just like yes.
yeah,
He doesn't actually answer that, but I mean, we're made to imply that yes, of
yeah.
course he is, because I mean, most people would.
Well, they showed us how close they were.
His
at the
brother,
beginning.
Madden, his brother meant it, and that's fine.
And he meant to his brother too. Like
Mhm.
these aren't
He
like
protected him.
these two weren't unfeeling towards each other.
and he
So
saved his life apparently.
Well,
at one point,
I
which
think
I'd love to hear that story.
I think there's some of the complexity though in the script that you may or may not like, but it is complexity with the she thought they were sisters and that sister doesn't want to be sisters. He lost his brother and he would do anything to have his brother back. There's that dichotomy there of like,
Oh, there's definitely a family
but
dynamic.
she with the synth talking about grief is like that's not. I don't think her. I think her being annoying was more out of character than a synth in the alien world or alien universe, more than her her becoming kind of like Terminator-esque and understanding certain things that she probably wouldn't have understood anyway. But
I mean, they're already self-aware. I mean,
I understand how that
something
that can be a thing, and I understand why if you're execs, if you're looking around the table and you're trying to trim some pages to make it, you're like, some of that can probably go, and we're probably safest cutting those dialogues from the film to cut out maybe 10 minutes in general. I can understand why that stuff would have been the first to go because it just seems less important. One thing that I noticed was, do you remember the line in the trailer that was like one of the punchlines that like you were excited to see the movie for? Do you remember what that was?
no.
I didn't like the trailer to this movie, so I
Well,
don't remember.
it was in that because when he's finally brought her back and he throws her up on the table and she's doing her thing with the legs and it's a weird camera angle where it's kind of a Dutch angle and like looking up at him and she's down here, so like we're getting both. Is he never said like I am prey to no one? Like he never got that. I was excited for that line because like that is the theme of the Predator. Is like a predator and prey. Like that's it.
Mm-hmm.
So I was kind of. We didn't get that line in this movie, did we? I don't think we got that.
I don't remember.
I don't think I missed it.
Yeah.
I don't think I missed it.
I'll actually watch this movie again sometime.
Yeah.
But it's a simple enough. I think it's
just
a simple
not
enough
something I say after every
plot.
movie we watch here. Especially
It's a
lately.
simple
Goddamn.
plot that works enough that I think it's passable. That's the thing. Is like I was worried that. My personal worry was I was going to walk into this thing and I was going to be the guy that's like, guys, this is not the best movie of the year. I'm surprised. I was worried that might have been the thing, but
well, can I ask you guys both a question?
Yeah.
And nobody has to jump at an answer, but I'll let it sit for a second. Who do you think this movie is for?
It's for people that aren't already Predator fans.
See, that's my thought too.
okay.
But I think it gives you enough. If you are familiar with Predator, you wouldn't argue too much about it. Now, like in your case, which, it's not a Predator movie, I think is a very fair assessment. Yeah. But you can't say there's not Predator stuff here.
I mean,
it's not just that it's a Predator.
It's like Disney throwing scraps at the Predator fans. But are you happy now? Are you happy with this?
I think Chris is right about it. I think
sure, that's fine.
Right.
But I have a follow-up question.
Yeah.
Is that a bad thing?
It doesn't feel like they're treating you well as a Predator fan.
Okay.
It feels like they're treating you well enough.
It feels like they don't respect the Predator as much as the Alien. It feels like they see more value in the future of the Alien side of it than the Predator side of it.
That's a great statement, and also so it brings me my last question.
Yeah.
If we hadn't got this movie,
mm-hmm.
do you think we would have gotten any Predator movie in the next 5 or 6 years?
I think
because you are far more likely to get multiple Predator movies now.
No, absolutely, and you're right. But again, it's the safe route, though, is the thing. Grayson, what do you think?
Oh, I was going to say, they now have the last Alien movie was well received.
Successful.
Predator Badlands well received. I think they're sitting pretty high right now. I think if you're 20th Century Fox,
that's what I mean, right?
Yeah.
So, it is very different than the Predator stuff we are used to, and 100% agree with that. I don't think they care.
Well, we'll see, because this movie costs just a tad over, I think, 100. So we'll see. Okay. I mean, look, it had a good opening weekend, but there's a lot of big movies. I may not be, but like, if it stops at 140 and it costs 100 to make, and there's been tons of promotional stuff for this, maybe it's not as successful as they wanted it to be.
The movie came out in the first week of October. This thing would be killing it.
Oh, dude, it would have beat ass all October.
It would be at $500 million right now if it came out week 1 of October.
It would have took it all 4 weeks of.
Yeah. the fact that it came
Maybe
out
Black
now,
Phone would have taken it like head to head that
Yeah.
week, but yeah.
the fact that it came out now is actually really unfortunate for the amount of money this thing's going to be able to make, because there are some good stuff coming out in the next couple weeks.
Can I ask you guys a question that I had written down?
Yeah.
Sure.
I always venture this in my head because I know there was a lot of, they're talking about a Terminator reboot, and I'm terrified about that. Like, I'm so scared about that. Like, I am as scared of a Terminator reboot as I am
Yes.
like having a home invasion. That's how scared I am. But
Your
because,
life
like,
is so different than mine. It's so very different than
well,
mine.
so I don't. The Alien films, I think, are much stronger as you have more of them that are better, and the good Alien films are like top tier.
Sure.
And I think so. That one would be you cannot
I don't
make
think that's crazy to say.
you cannot remake the
best
magic
Alien movie
of
is better than
you
every
cannot
other Predator. Sure.
you can't remake the magic of the first 3 Alien films. However, I think if you were trying to reboot the Predator franchise, if your goal was to reboot Predator franchise and then like have it live alongside the existing Alien franchise and put them together, do you try to remake the first film? Is that even possible without Arnold? Is it possible without the limitations of the time?
Well,
What do you do with it? What do you do with Predator going forward? I guess that's my question.
I think your answer is obvious, because they didn't try to remake the first Alien movie either.
Yet.
They didn't, and they're not going to. But like, they didn't do that with Alien. They wouldn't do that with Predator. And I don't think Predator works in the way that the first Predator movie does in 2025. But again, that doesn't mean that you can't have it be more akin to what it was. But again, I feel like we just got knockoff Star Wars script. Star Wars script.
I tell you what this feels like
for them. I really just don't. Well,
I'll tell you what this
definitely
feels like,
understand
Chris.
your concern.
Yeah.
I just don't know if they care. I think they just look at it monetarily as, hey,
It's not their
we
job.
have a marketable Predator.
As an asshole talking about movies on the internet, it's my job to care. You know what I mean?
You're right.
Yeah.
They're not trying to cater to Chris's Predator.
No,
movie.
no, not at all.
Yeah.
If you
we need to make as much money as possible.
My analysis is this, and I'm willing to bet this is a good to fair. I think they had a script about a bounty hunter in a sci-fi world, and it wasn't working. And someone's like, you know what we could do with it? With a couple changes. Because it's in a movie called Predator Badlands, there is almost, if you take out the one character, there's zero Predator stuff in this movie, like zero. So that would have been an easy change to make like that character is easy, and then all
Dear
you do
listener,
is
I want you to realize the one person he's taking out is the titular Predator character.
well, Chris has a point, though. I mean, Chris
but
keeps
it's
making the
funny.
same point.
I said it. This thing is like it's like a bad Star Wars script. He says about a sci-fi movie in space with a bounty hunter. Isn't that just Boba Fett?
Yes.
Star Wars. Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah.
I never said you were wrong.
Is there a chance that
They're Guardians of the Galaxy.
Well, okay, so hear me out for a second. Like, because we get the Grogu movie coming out. What's that called?
Mandalorian and Grogu.
Mandalorian and Grogu. Is this a chance that this was the script they started with and then they just
No.
repurposed it?
No way.
Maybe.
I mean, they had two or three seasons
Two-
of that shit to pull from. though,
2/3 of the podcast say maybe. I'm just
Well,
saying.
okay, hold on. I'm saying maybe because I'm mad at this thing. I don't know how much I thought about it to be an actually a good theory, but like it's fun to think about maybe, and I say fun as in it's amazing what movie studios will do to pivot to hopefully make more money as something falls out of grace. Because Mandalorian fell out of grace, you know what I mean? So
No,
this is like something they felt like might have been good.
You rephrasing Mandalorian started to suck, and that's why they
either
pivoted.
way,
But that's the same.
grace.
Okay, like I remember
that's exactly what happened to some Predator movies, buddy.
Sure,
And
sure,
Alien movies, so
100%, 100%, 100%, and we have proof, and we know that from the lineage of
Mhm.
Predator. However, like, I mean, this happens all the time, though, is when scripts are repurposed, and this is it is unfortunately very generic, except for the script, the parts of the dialogue that cater to the Predator and the Wayland stuff, which would be easy fixes. But like, it does happen, and I can't shake the feeling that this is a repurposed something else. That's all I kept thinking about was
It's
repurposed.
possible, but they did a good job with the repurposing because the movie is A, finding success, B, it's an easy movie to watch. it's just people that are going to wear the shoes that I have on that might be bothered in the way I am. And and I might be in a very small, minority, but I just think that the movie did some things that was super safe and not exciting. So, but that's just me.
I think your concerns are very valid. I just legitimately look at it from the studio perspective, which I hate to do.
Ooh.
I don't think they care. I think this was just about getting a win for Predator.
I don't think they ever
And
care.
I think, well,
the movie
somewhat.
studios are the Wayland.
Wayland Yutani.
Yeah.
Grayson, what's up, buddy?
I want to say one thing before we move into final thoughts. I want to welcome
Yeah.
Chris. This is the furthest on my side he's ever been.
Hey, how you doing? It's weird over here.
You're just Chris is angry. Chris is angry that something that he liked. But like, welcome to my side, man. Welcome to like every movie I watch is lesser than the previous one. It's all a generation of just lesser filmmakers with lesser ideas. And I say that because, like, again, I don't know why we're not going back to the basics with Predator. I don't know why we're not going to the Alien films with, we go to a movie. I mean, Michael Biehn said he was up, and like we got that weird. I know we got that weird, like, who wanted to do the movie? Who did District 9? Who was that?
Neil Blomkamp.
Yes, he was big for a while in that era. It's like he had an idea that Ripley, Newt, and Hicks woke up and they were found by the company, and more Marines went back to the site, and like that was a movie that almost happened. So I mean, there was pictures of it. There was like pre-production. There was like artists did renderings, and like that almost happened. So I guess before final thoughts, I just want to say welcome, Chris. It's been too long. I'm glad you're over here.
For the record, I've been mad on this show before.
Yeah, but never like disappointed like Roger was disappointed with Ghostbusters Frozen Empire.
First off, he's not even in the realm of how disappointed I was in that fucking movie.
Yeah,
It's like, look, he may not like this movie, but he understands it's an okay movie. The movie I didn't like fucking sucked. All right, and I will stand on that fucking business.
Jeez.
That movie stinks. They owe me money.
All right, guys. Final thoughts. Keep it brief, please. I'll start. I thought this was very serviceable. It's a win for Disney. It's a win for Predator fans, I think, because this is going to lead to more. So I thought it was very serviceable. I liked what they did visually with it. I'm happy that we got some alien stuff. I like Deke, whatever his name was. I thought they did an okay job. I think this is it's got more pros than it does cons for me.
This is a cool movie with a predator in it. It's not a Predator movie. It's like I said it earlier. It's David Spade, Chris Farley, and Stitch. So whatever.
Somehow I agree with both of them, but honestly, deep down, I think it's the win.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think it's a fine movie. I have no problems, no overarching problems with it. When you take the fact that it's just not a super gory Predator movie, that's it. Yeah. It's fine. I've been much happier to watch that movie than half the movies I've watched in the last few months.
Yeah.
So Predator's a win, man.
We've seen way worse.
Oh my god.
But just please don't ever forget, like, this movie could have really sucked too. It could have.
It could have. Can't wait for the next Terminator movie to come out now.
Please stop hurting me. Why do you hurt me? Why? All right, gentlemen, thank you for joining me for this episode 55 of Post Credits Podcast, a show where we are lucky enough to talk about movies with you. If you listen to this episode on an audio-only service such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and Podbean, feel free to head on over to YouTube. Check us out there as well. Everything is time segmented out. You can click around. You can listen to what you want to listen to. You can look at their beards and my lack thereof. Turn us on while you're doing whatever it is you people do. Like and subscribe, please. That helps us out so much. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
Yeah, we'll be here.
Peace.